Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, January 23rd. Now I don't have to look at my phone, I can look at my watch. How cool is that? This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have various social medias that you can follow me on. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you would like to see what I get up to during the week. Various test knits, cat pictures, mainly cat pictures, fun things like that. I have show notes, so the links to things that I will be talking about will be down below. If you're on YouTube, the link will be there. Or if you're on my blog, everything that I will be talking about, everything is already there. Sorry, I got distracted by someone who's taking a walk in our neighborhood. It's the downside of sitting in front of a window. I have show notes. If I forget anything, just let me know. I may have forgotten something. I also work at a yarn store. It's called Pearly Girls. There's a little dog in our yard. That's fun. Oh, the neighbor is getting the dog out of the... And I'm recording. This is awkward. Hello, sir. That was weird. I'm sorry. I'm just having a play-by-play of our neighbors. I work at a yarn store. It's called Pearly Girls. It's in Spring, Texas. And I will leave all the various social media website information if you would like to follow us either online or you can come check us out in person, which we would love both. And yeah, I am also a tech editor for Knitting Patterns. I do that. So if you are interested or are in need of a technical editor for your knitting patterns, whatever they may be, or if you know someone who is needing a technical editor, please send me an email. All that information is under the Graceful Edits tab on my blog. So all the important information is there, or you can send me a DM on Instagram and we can start the conversation. Love that. This intro has randomly become very long due to circumstances outside of this house. So we'll just cut it off here. We'll get started and then we'll continue on with our random conversations once we get into the actual episode. So if you like grab something tasty to drink, I have a latte that I just freshly made and I'm very excited about it. It's so good. Something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold. I apologize if you can hear the washer and dryer in the background. It is what it is. I poorly timed it. That's my bad. Whatever it is, I hope it is bringing you joy or rest, or I am helping you get through a task that is not as much fun. Whatever that may be, I hope you can do all those things, some of those things, and come back and join me for some crafty chat. Fun fact, I love this mug. It's a fox, and I honestly don't remember which place it came from because we actually registered for a set of these fox mugs for our wedding, and a very dear friend of mine got us the set. And there are two big ones. There's this orange one and a gray one, and then there's two little small ones that are they're smaller, but there's an orange one and a gray one. But I like the orange one because it is perfect, and it's got a little, like a sassy face, you know? It just looks like it's up to no good, but I don't know because I'm not a fox, but who's to say? In case you were curious, which I don't think anybody was, but now you know. Thank you to everyone who said that they liked this new setup. I appreciate that. I do too. it's very first world problems. I have to rotate this chair because normally it's facing the other direction. So I have to rotate it, and there's a rug and it gets stuck on the rug. And the things we do for podcasting, you know, but the lighting is just so good in front of this window. And we're getting ready to have some drastically stormy days coming up. And it's like there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's just absolutely beautiful, and it's cold. I have a knit sweater on. It's amazing. It's an old favorite that I test knit in 2017 or something like that. I think it was actually 2017. Let's see. Beginning of 2018. I never wore it. I ripped out the sleeves and redid the sleeves, and now it's a favorite, and I just absolutely adore it. It's the Corbell pullover by Flossie something. I will try and remember to put it in my show notes, but it is a favorite. It's knit out of Knit Picks yarn. It's got these nice little cable details. Please focus on me. There we go. Another downside of this particular situation is that I don't really, and also since this is only week 2 of me doing this, I don't remember the particular angle where I was set up, and I don't remember like how far back I was, how close to the window I was, all that jazz. So I apologize if it's ever so slightly different, but I'm generally in the same place, so that's all that really matters. Like I said, I apologize for the laundry. That's my bad. Today has just been a very busy day with fun things, nothing bad. There are a few adulting things that I still have to do, laundry included. And I'm not really looking forward to those, but I am also feeling like I need the coffee, so that's good that I have that, and I'm excited to talk about all my progress with you all. We have test knits. We've got yarn acquisitions that I have from Christmas when I was with my family, and then some recent yarn acquisitions that are very fun, and I'm super excited to show you all. Nothing has been cast on. I will say that. I do have some test knits that have been cast on, and one of which I'm not actually sure if I can show you all, but I'll talk about it just a little bit. And yeah, so I'm feeling really good about this. I'm actually gonna move this yarn out of the way because I am like gonna knock this over and lose one of these little minis. I got some minis to share. So where do we begin? I don't know. Last time was a doozy of an episode, everyone. That was long. That was long. Anyone who sat through all that, I really thank you. Thank you. And in doing so, of course, like always, pulling things out always inspires me. It always just makes me feel reinvigorated about certain projects. It solidifies the fact that some things need to be frogged, which I'd like to talk about that for a little bit in just a second. Frogging whips and finished objects. But so I was really inspired, and I filmed all that, and then that following weekend, or that same weekend, was our wedding anniversary. Sam and I had been married for 6 years, which is very exciting, and we took a little weekend trip to Fredericksburg, Texas, which is in the hill country, if you're unfamiliar, and did all the fun things. We had a cute little Airbnb. It was out in the middle of nowhere. It was so quiet, and we ate good food. We had German food. We did all the breweries. I am not a beer drinker. There are some beers that I tolerate. There are other beers that I do not like, which is most of the rest of the beers. I just don't like beer. I don't like the taste of it. I don't mind it, but it's not my favorite, and I actively avoid beer. Sometimes like I said, there are certain beers I don't avoid. Anyway, long story short, Sam had a lot of really good beer. I had good ciders. There were some fun frozen margaritas that I had. It was fun time. Lots of people watching, lots of knitting. It was great because the drive from us to Fredericksburg is about 4 hours. So got that timer going, you get that timer going, and you get so much done, and it's just amazing. And at the time, I didn't have any test knits cast on. I had one that I knew that I needed to cast on, but I hadn't done it yet, or no, that's not true. I actually brought it with me. I take all that back. I had brought it with me, and I got the little bottom ribbing done, and once I was moving forward in the pattern, in the car, after I had knit on this bottom ribbing, which is of a whole, what am I trying to say? Should I just show this to you? I probably should just show this to you. I'm sorry, this is very all over the place. So I'm test knitting a sweater for Alicia Plummer, which is super exciting. I've been a big fan of her work for a long time, and I don't think I've actually done a test knit for her before. Oopsies, it's caught on another project. So she called it a Rhinebeck sweater. I don't know if that will be the finished name necessarily, but currently it's the Rhinebeck sweater. And it's a dolman sleeve, very slouchy, lots of cables, bottom up, in the round, no seams, no nothing. I'm using the yarn that I was actually going to use for a knit along with Maker and Stitch, but the cables in that were just taking up too much brain power for me, and I am still using them for cables, and I'm super excited to be actually using this yarn because I knew that I have a lot of it, and I'm very excited. So this is Kelborn Woolen's Scout from Maker and Stitch, obviously in a gray colorway, and yes, so this one I can show you, and I've got like 10 bazillion stitches on my needles, and we're only increasing. So I need to get a longer cord, honestly. It's not that bad, but for showing purposes, it's like, what even is that? I don't even know. So we've got these cables along the side. Can we see that? So these three are different. There's that one, the middle one, and then this big one. And then it goes into this body, like this honeycomb cable texture, and that's the whole thing on the front. And then we have the same three that are mirrored on the other side, and it's the same on the front and the back. So it's this on the back side as well, or front side. I honestly don't remember which is which at this point. Right now they're both the same. So that's all that really matters. Anyway, so I worked on the ribbing because I had so many bazillion stitches, because again, it's bottom up. And that was a good time to get it done in the car. There was a lot of traffic. We were driving into the sun and couldn't see anything. And I finished the ribbing. And I was like, cool. I still have time left on my timer because I had been working on it for several rotations through. And I looked generally at my little fire tablet with my pattern on it, and realized that it was going to be more complicated than I thought it was, and I have a tendency to feel carsick when I look at screens too long in the car. And so it was a no-go, and the rest of the time I was just working on other things and enjoying my time with Sam and people watching. So I only got the ribbing done. My point being, I only got the ribbing done on this trip, though I did bring it. But I did get the ribbing done, I did get progress on it, and that was good. So when I got home, I was able to establish the cable sections, figure out what I was doing, I think I've got it down. You know, it does look like a lot, but and there are different charts for different sections of the pattern. It's very clearly written. It's really great. The testing group is huge. It's wonderful. There's a lot of people in there, which is always fun. And yeah, so right now I'm just trying to make my way through the increase section, which is taking a very long time. And I really need to, this one does have a pretty distant deadline, which is nice. So I'm not too worried about it, but I also can't like not work on it. I have to continue to make progress on it, is what I'm saying. So yeah, but I think I've got it, the what I'm working on right now, I think I do have it memorized. And there are more people. It is a beautiful day. I don't blame them for taking walks, but it is very distracting to me. Not that they would know that I'm recording a podcast, but whatever. I think I do have it memorized at this point, which is good. I have yet to bring this with me to work. We will see. I may try that this week. Who knows? I don't know. But it's really wonderful. It's super squishy. I'm going to love wearing this thing. I know this yarn is so good for cables. I know it's good for color work too, but it's just like the stitch definition is really nice. And it's really squishy. It's also very lightweight. And they've got a bunch of colors, and I know it's a good price point, which is really wonderful. So Kelborn Woolens, if you've been wanting to try it, here's your sign to try it and enjoy every single minute of it. I want to knit many more sweaters out of this because it is wonderful. So I worked on that. What else did I bring with me? This is huge, and I'm going to talk about this last because this is the biggest thing, I think, other than my sweater. So let's briefly talk about my test knit that I'm doing that I'm not sure if I can show it to you, but just in case, we're going to talk about vaguely, and then it's almost done, and the testing period's almost over, so it really doesn't matter. You'll find out about it soon. But it's a test knit for Shayna Line's Designs. I have test knit for her before. You may be familiar with the designing name. She's wonderful, so sweet, so many amazing designs. They're so interesting, and I feel like they've got the most fun and unique construction usually, and in a just a let's do something different way. And like I said, Shanna's just super sweet. So the yarn I'm using is Suburban Stitcher DK, which is exciting, so it's going quickly, and we love the dryer. It's doing its job, but we don't love the sound that it makes. It's a cowl, and I'm excited about it, and it's been going quickly. So that's all I really worked on Saturday at work, and it was really great. I got a lot done. It's going quickly. So that is also what I've been working on, and like I said, the testing period is almost up, so it'll be coming out soon, which is exciting. I did not work on that on the trip. I don't know, I feel like I worked on this since we last talked, but I honestly don't remember. If I did, it was probably like a handful of rows, but we'll pull it out just so I feel inspired to work on it. This is my Porty Pullover by Gudrun Johnson. I love this. It is super intense color work, little needles, fingering weight yarn. It will be beautiful. It's a labor of love, and I need to put this on bigger, longer needles as well. But I'm just really loving this. This was my mom and I's New Year's Eve cast on together. We did this via FaceTime, and her colors are very different than mine and equally amazing. I'm so excited. They're both of our color palettes are very much outside our color palette zone, comfort zone, and this is all stash yarn. All stash yarn. As is my mom's. Which reminds me, let's have a little quick discussion, shall we? It's okay to frog things if you're not happy about them. If they don't have a particular place that they're going to, like it's a gift or something like that has a specific place that it's going to, if it's just you and you're not loving knitting on it, and then you realize that you're not going to use whatever you're making or wear whatever you're making, just frog it. Just start over. It's okay. I know it's sad, especially if you've put in a lot of hours into it, and it's hard to see your work be pulled out. Don't get me wrong. That is a very hard feeling. I understand that. But also, like, think of the freedom and the excitingness of, getting a Brazilian. Hello. The freedom, and just like that weight being lifted off of your chest of like, oh man, I've got new yarn and I don't have to buy it and it's already here. And I know that I love this yarn and I'm gonna make this into something brand new and I'm just so excited. It's so amazing. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this before, but if you haven't, I would suggest to you to open your mind to looking at your whips and seeing if there's anything that you need to frog and just start over, regardless of how long it's been on the needles, regardless of how much progress you've gotten done, and just toss all that aside. And unless you know that you can finish it and gift it, if that's something that you want to do, perfect, love that. But if you're going to be wearing it and if you're going to be using it, you have to love it. And if you don't love it, it's not worth it. Same thing goes for things that you've already finished. And goodness knows, I've done that many times and spoken about it here on the podcast as well. There's a slipover vest that I finished recently. And I frogged a sweater I had knit several years before because I was never wearing that sweater, and I knew that I would use this slipover thing much more, and wasn't using this other thing, and it was perfect. And now it's amazing. And now I will wear it all the time. And it's like, why did I not do this sooner? So you just also have to like evaluate, especially with the beginning of the new year, everyone's like, clean all your stuff out. Like, just reevaluate. I apologize. Reevaluate what's in your closet. See what you actually use and what you don't need and what you don't like and what you don't wear and all that kind of stuff. You can do the same thing with your knits, but also you don't have to get rid of them. You can potentially frog them and reuse the yarn. And you can do that with things that you didn't make, and you can use, like, you can do that with commercially made sweaters, and just the opportunity and the possibility of being able to do that with sweaters that you didn't make is just, it opens you up to a bunch of new yarn, basically. And who doesn't love new yarn? You know, it's a nice feeling, and it's nice to have. And yeah, so what is the takeaway from this conversation? Just have an open mind about frogging things, repurposing yarn to being something that you really love. That is the most important thing, I think, because life is too short, again, to knit things and crochet things and make things that you don't like and wear things that you don't like. That's not good. Life is too short for that. So, is this really that important? I honestly don't know. I feel like it's important, which is why I'm talking about it, but hopefully you find it important as well. Or at least you've learned something. I don't know. It's just, yeah, life is too short to not have fun with the things that we have. Use the nice things if it's not bringing you joy, take it out, redo it, do it, make something else. Make something that you love and does bring you joy. So, and my point, connecting back to the porty pullover, the porty pullover. That's what my mom did with her yarn. She was working on something. She had knit so much on this beautiful colorwork sweater, and it was not going to turn out, and it was going to be too big, and it was just not going to be what she wanted, and it was sad to rip it out. But we had a conversation over Christmas, and it was just like, I give you permission. I don't need to give you permission, but if you need to hear those words, I give you permission to frog that thing. I give you that permission to frog that finished object that you're not wearing. I give you permission. You don't need my permission, but you have it. And so my mom used this yarn to make the porty pullover. I'm using stash yarn to make the porty pullover. I'm very excited about our porty pullovers. There's a cardigan version as well that involves steeking, and neither of us were really wanting to do that with this particular project, so we opted for the pullover. And like I said before in last time's episode, I feel like I wear more pullovers. It's a pullover. I wear more pullovers than I do cardigans. So, pullover it is. What else did I work on during our trip to Fredericksburg? So I worked quite a bit on this. This was kind of like my, I have pictures of me working on this on Enchanted Rock, standing on Enchanted Rock, sitting on Enchanted Rock. I'm working on this. So this is my Perfectionist trap by Casey of Casey Knits. And last time you all saw it, I was down here. So I made quite a bit of progress. That was really good. And also because a lot of the projects, I got to certain places on my projects that I had brought on this trip that I needed to look what I was doing on in my patterns. And I had either not brought my patterns with me, or it was a longer car ride and I didn't want to feel ill, which is also important. And I knew that this did not require that, and I was actually able to, I didn't have the pattern with me, and I didn't have Signal to download it to look, but I kind of like re-engineered, or I figured it out by looking at back and seeing what I had done before, and it's worked out perfectly. So, you know, what is this yarn? I will tell you. This yarn is just absolutely beautiful. I am so just over the moon with how this is turning out. This is a special skein of DK that I got from DFW Fiberfest from Apothecary, and it is just wonderful. So I do believe the pattern calls for 2 skeins of DK, but I only got the 1, and it's that type of pattern where you can kind of like go until you're done, basically. And honestly, if I run out of this and if I want to make it bigger, I have clearly lots of options to pick from, and pick one of these colors in here and just kind of work it in. And I think that would be really fun too, if I want to make it bigger. But I'm just going until I run out of yarn, basically. But yeah, I'm really loving this. This is a really nice, like, one skein, like, have in your back pocket pattern. I know it's super easy, and it's easy to do on the go when you don't need to pay attention or you can't pay attention. It's great, and it looks really nice and clean, and like the clean lines, and I just love it so much. And I love the yarn, and I got to meet Casey there when I got the yarn. I was just so excited. She's so wonderful. We're gonna take a coffee break. You should take a coffee break too, or whatever you're drinking. To each their own. It's nice. So, We got 2 projects left, and then our yarn acquisitions. And these 2 projects I'm very proud of. I have really just like, I don't even know. This one I wanted to get done. I was like bound and determined I was going to get it done for today, and I was going to show you a finished object. All I have left is literally like 5 rows of ribbing around the neck. So we're going to call it a finished object. It is like, it's getting done today. Like, it's getting done, it's getting blocked. I'm going to wear it this week for the cold. It's going to be amazing. I don't have the neckline done. But I'd like to call it a finished object because I really wanted to. But here's my Clove sweater. My so fun Clove sweater. Ta-da! So last time you all saw it, I was here. Boop, boop. I had not even gotten to the ribbing yet. And I knit 2 sleeves, all with this delightful sewn tubular bind off. So amazing. Did the pattern call for it? I don't believe so. Did I do it anyway? Yes, because it's so beautiful. Oh man, it was so good. So good. I powered through sleeve 1, and I knew that we had an event coming up that I needed some super mindless knitting. Would be in the dark, wouldn't have the ability to look at a pattern. So I like powered through, got the first sleeve finished, and picked up for the second sleeve, and had done like 1 row or something like that. And then we went to this event. A friend of ours was starring in the Wait Before Dark play, which is the movie that Audrey Hepburn has been in, and she played Audrey Hepburn's character. And it was just amazing. It was wonderful. We went with some friends, and it was just awesome. And I got all of the non-decreasing part of the sleeve done in that time. And I was very proud of myself. And yes, it was just truly wonderful. And yeah, I just powered through and finished it. Did I finish it last night? Yeah, I did. I finished it last night. Or I finished the second sleeve last night. Yeah, so I got from here to here during the play, and then I did from here to the end yesterday during church and stuff at home. And all I have left is this little bitty neckline. That's all I have left. That's all I have left. And that is why we're calling it a finished object. This is, like I said, the Clove sweater by Rachel Kurihara of Rachel Knits Things. This sweater pattern took the internet by storm when it came out, and I completely see why. I would make more of them in the future. I'm using 2 Knit Picks yarns, one of which is the Stroll Tweed in the Persimmon colorway, and that's like the orange colorway. It's like the perfect birdie color. And then I'm using the Knit Picks mohair called Aloft in like a creamy color. I love how this has turned out. Don't get me wrong. I don't particularly like the Knit Picks mohair. It sheds like crazy. It's everywhere. And I know that like now that it's knitted, it's like a little bit more contained, if that makes sense, but like pulling it from the ball, and like it was just going everywhere. It was just constantly going everywhere. I had little puffs of fuzz that I would stick into the sleeve, and now I can't actually find any, but I have little puffs of fuzz that would come off of the yarn, and so I'd stick them inside the sleeve while I was working on it because I had nowhere else to put them. It's a very fuzzy sweater, but that's the goal. I mean, that's what you get when you have mohair and fingering weight yarn together. So I love it. I'm so excited. Again, I'm gonna get it done today, block it overnight, wear it to work on Wednesday. Probably when you see this episode. May have finished object pictures. I honestly don't know. Am I telling the future? I don't know. It's so snuggly as well. I love the tweed, the stroll tweed. I need to knit more out of this yarn. I have another favorite sweater of mine, the Seavogger sweater by Kate Davies that I made. And it's also out of the tweed, stroll tweed, and it's just, it wears so well. It's so soft, and it's just so nice. And I love tweed. We can't go wrong with tweed, you know? Speaking of tweed, we have some foreshadowing of the yarn acquisitions that I have, but we love good tweed. Anyway, this is my Clove sweater. It's in theory done. I'll probably forget to show it to you all next time I record, so we're going to use this as the finished object time. So my last project that I have is, I don't know why I have gone so crazy with this project, but it's all I've been knitting on that's not test knits or the Clove sweater. This is my Feel Good shawl by Andrea Mowry, and oh man, can we even? It looks so good. I'm so happy with this. Last time you all saw this, it was here, I think. So I had not even gone through this portion. This gold portion I knit a lot on our trip, because it was super easy. It was just the one color. I had the pattern memorized, and now everyone, I've learned how to do two-color double brioche. What even is that? It is just, it's a lot, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and I went ahead and I was like getting ready to do row 2 with the second color, and I was like, this is not at all what I thought it was, so I have to put this aside. So I couldn't work on this on our way home from our trip, which is okay, but it was a small price to pay. Again, didn't really want to watch a tutorial in the car because I knew that I was reaching my limit of looking at screens and not feeling sick, so whatever. But anyway, here's my two-color, here, how do we show this to you correctly? Sorry, I got comfortable on the chair and now I can't move forward, but here we are. Hi, I'm right up in your face. So you've got your regular 1x1 two-color brioche, mint on the one side. You can see that there's like a gray on the other side. Then we have our regular 1x1 one-color brioche, and now down here, if you can see, it's like a 2x2 ribbing, but it's two-color brioche. Yes, it is a lot, and it's much easier than you would think. But it is extra work. If brioche is not your thing, I would definitely recommend taking this one slow. It's, once you get like in a rhythm, here's the other side. Once you get in a rhythm, it's not that bad, but like getting it set up is like, whoa, this is weird. And then you've got a bunch of increases, and now I'm really close to the camera. Hello. I'll sit back now. But I am super close to being done. I only have like 3 or 4 of these repeats left to do, and then I cast off. What? I have Malabrigo in here. I have Uncommon Thread. I've got Hue Loco. I've got Madelinetosh, and I've got a special skein because we use the fancy things. I've got a special skein of La Bien-Aimée that I've saved for forever, and now it's going to be in this super squishy brioche shawl. It's huge. It is huge. And I love it, and I'm so happy with how my colors are turning out. I kind of went along the same vibe as the original, but with like my own stash and kind of like my own vibe to it, if that makes sense. And I'm so happy with it. I'm just over the moon. Turn it around and you can see the other side. It looks so good. I'm so excited with it. And it's just been a fun thing to do and to learn. Learning 2-color brioche was a lot. Took me a little bit, but that's okay. You know, like I've said before, that's the beauty of knitting and crafting, is that there's always new things to learn. It's important to keep on learning. My little almost 5-year-old nephew has a very funny quote about, or something that he said about continuing to learn, and I can't remember it right now, but it was like, wow, Jonas, you are very wise beyond your years. That was very profound. But it's along those lines of like, that you never stop learning. So this is the Feel Good Shawl by Andrea Mowry, various yarns. I also don't have a ton of yarn left over for this, which I'm super excited about, and I think I may do pom-poms maybe, I don't know, maybe wait and see, but I'd love to have this done by the next time we chat. And it's not a finished object yet, so hopefully I will remember to show it to you all. But we are going back, like, can we even with these colors? What? This is exactly what I had envisioned in my mind, and I'm just so happy with it. The dryer just turned off. That's good. Okay, so we are going to visit my parents in February for my birthday, which is very exciting, and my nephew's birthday as well, because it's just a couple days after mine, and so I'd love to have this squishy thing done by then. I think I can do that easy peasy. Obviously I'll have the Clove sweater to wear. What other new things will I have? I'll have a few test knits that will be done by then. So my Feel Good shawl, I love it. It makes me feel good, so I cast it on a whim, and I haven't been able to put it down since I picked it back up. So it's a good one to learn brioche if you're uncomfortable with brioche, or if you are wanting to get better at like the brioche increases, which can be overwhelming. It's a pretty good place to learn, I feel like. I feel like this particular pattern and Andrea Mowry's tutorials, and then also Stephen West's tutorials on brioche, are like the perfect combination of a brioche class. Obviously there's lots of other things out there, but in my opinion, I learned from Stephen West how to do brioche, not from him, like, it was his video, but it wasn't like in person, if that makes sense. It was his video, and it was one of his shawls, and it was just really great. So if you're wanting to learn something new for 2023, why don't you give brioche a try? Super easy. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to keep on doing it, but you will have tried, and that's important. So moving on to yarn acquisitions very quickly, we're going to finish this up here. I have 2 yarn acquisitions from Christmas that I have yet to show you, and then another one that I will explain shortly. So, first of all, the yarn that I am using for my Venia sweater by Isabel Kramer with the textured cables down the front, that's like a tan color and a navy mohair, that was also part of my Christmas present. So that is technically cast on, but these others I have not yet cast on, and I have many things in mind, lots of fun ideas. So these, because there are so many of us sibling wise and spouses wise at this point, we draw names, and which is great. And my older sister, she drew my name this year, and she got me 3 minis from Hue Loco. and I love them. They're so much fun. When I sent her, I gave her some ideas, and I was just like, any of these minis, and so she got to pick out the colors, which I think is very fun. So she got me Yes I Canyon, Sitting Pretty, and City Kitty. And honestly, I love them all together, and I think when I was looking at patterns potentially, I may do like a petite knitter pattern, colorwork pattern, and just kind of like stripe them. Or like do it like one full mini and then do the second full mini and then the third full mini on the yoke, and then I'm done with my color work. And I think that would be so much fun. I don't know, what do you think? They're super pretty. My sister is very artistic when it comes to color, and so I know she had a fun time picking these out. And I will love knitting with them. So, can't wait to work on this. Also, you know what? My birthday's next month. In a week, 2 weeks at this point, the birthday month starts. What is my cast on project gonna be? I don't know. I've got so many fun things in mind. I've got yarn for things. And sorry, I know we were going to go over things that I wanted to make and go over the favorite sweaters. We'll do that next time. I apologize. I completely forgot about that until just this moment. So, yes. That's my bad. In addition to the Venia yarn, my parents got me this mini skein set from Conifer Collective that my mom actually got from when Audrey of Conifer Collective was doing her trunk show at Maker and Stitch. And what's also super cool and just makes it even more special to me is that Audrey helped my mom pick this out and keeping my favorite color palettes in mind, and because my mom showed Audrey my Instagram and Audrey picked this one out for me, and which I think is just so special. And I'm so excited to knit with these. This is the Desert Mix, I believe. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 522 yards in total. So I think this may also become a colorwork sweater. You know? I think it may. It may be. I am just so in love with these colors. And so she had several other different mini set kits like this. And my sister got one that was like more brightly colored, more fun pinks, which is definitely my sister's vibe. And then my mom got one that was slightly different than mine. I can't remember how it was different, but it was slightly different. And then this one. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just love Audrey's yarn, and Audrey's super sweet, and it's just all good things. So lastly, yarn acquisition wise, you may remember I was working on a sample for Heather of Heathered Handmaids, and I was making the Current Mood shawl by Leslie Ann Robinson, or Knit Graffiti, for DFW. And as a thank you, in payment for knitting the sample, Heather gave me a gift card for her shop and her yarn, and so I got 3 skeins of this tweed, her tweed sock, in the Sincerity colorway, which is this like lilac-y pink, and it's not really showing up on the camera very well, so we can hope that it shows up on your computer, but it is a lilac-y pink, and I say that because it's kind of almost got like a purpley bluey undertone to it. It's not like pink, but I'm so excited. I love it so much. So if I had remembered to do my top 5 favorite sweaters that I made in 2022, one of them would have been the Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry that I made out of Heather's regular sock. And I needed 3 skeins, so I may do that again because we love a good Weekender Light and we love a good tweed. But there are also, like, I kind of want to put a mohair with it because we have some beautiful Knitting for Olive mohair at work that we just got to refresh of all of our colors, and I think it would also be beautiful in one of like the Espace Tricot sweater patterns that are just so good and classic. I can never remember which one is which. Couldn't tell you, but it's one of those. So that is also has potential, and I think that would just be so gorgeous, and I think I would wear it so much. So I may do that just because since I already have a Weekender Light out of Heather Handmaid's yarn, maybe I should do something different. But we do, if you know that you love it, there's no reason to not do it again. So this has potential. This was a recent yarn acquisition, and it was just very kind as a thank you for knitting the sample for Heather. I am seriously thinking this is going to be a big undertaking. So I have to decide if for a birthday cast on, if I want more of like an instant gratification or if like a less of a commitment project, or if I want like a big project. And for one big project, I'm going to cast on my bubble cardigan because I've had that yarn for a while now, and I've been waiting my time, I've been biding my time, and my time is almost here. And everyone, I feel like it should be a big project because you know what? I'm turning 30. I'm leaving my 20s. It's a big year. It's a big number. We're getting older. I should have a big project, which probably will be my bubble cardigan. Which also means I have like 10 skeins of yarn to wind. I don't know. I maybe will wind them slowly. I could start now and then eventually have them all wound by the time I cast on. Ooh, and then I could work on it at my parents' house. That'd be so nice. And then we'll probably go to Maker and Stitch as well. Oh, I don't know. I also really want to cast on a coloring book raglan pullover, or the drop shoulder one. I can't remember which one I want to make, but it's by Amy Scher, and I have some stash yarn, good old stash yarn, that I may want to do with that. Excuse me. I feel like me yawning is the time for me to wrap up this episode. Anyway, I will probably pull together a couple of birthday cast-on options, and we can talk about them next time, in addition to my top 5 sweaters of 2022. And you all can help me decide, because I don't like deciding things. Even the most trivial things like that. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are so successful. I'm going to finish my Clove, my Clove sweater is a finished object. I'm just going to finish it. My Feel Good shawl has potential to get done. I've got some test knits that will be done, and progress on the Alicia Palmer one. And then I think I should pull in another thing, a languishing lip, into the rotation, because the Clove sweater was definitely a languishing lip. Definitely. I think I cast it on November of 2021. So, but that's okay. You know what? That's totally fine. I'm grateful that there are so many fun things out there to knit, and I'm grateful for the ability to be able to do this. I think I just was a little redundant there, but that's okay. I said the same thing twice in different ways, but it doesn't matter. You understand. I have show notes, I have social media information, I have yarn store information, and I have tech editing information. I have all the information for you. If you have any questions, or I've forgotten anything, or if you just want to say hi, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I would love to have a little chat. And yes, I think that is all that I have. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. You are wonderful. You are enough. And I will see you all next time with some hopefully finished things. And if not, that's also okay. Anyway.